Hi everyone, welcome to my uMoya live hour, and my name is John Lockley, and I'm going to be going through some meditation with you today, some drumming, and also talking to you about the waking dream, meditation and nature. So I'm from South Africa, from Southern Africa, and I'm from the Eastern Cape. And where I'm from, there's lots of wilderness. And where I was brought up, we are very close to the wilderness. And today I want to bring a sense of that to you. Where we are in South Africa, or in Southern Africa, we have the Bushmen people. And the Bushmen people are reputed to be the oldest indigenous tribe in the world. And they have lots to teach us. And the Bushmen people have now migrated to the Kalahari Desert, and some of the mystical teachings that they have spread are still with us, and they're part of our humanity. And one of the stories that really stuck with me, and that is the story of Kamata, or the Great Spirit. And the Bushmen people, or the Khoisan, would say that this life is a dream being dreamt by the great dreamer. And this is a core principle in traditional South African shamanism. This life is a dream being dreamt by the great dreamer. So a lot of the practices we do are about connecting with the great dreamer, connecting with the conductor behind the veil of events, the conductor behind life as we see it. The great dreamer. And in many different traditions around the world, they speak about this, but they just use different language. So for all of us sitting here today, these people, or some of you who've signed up and watching me now, I want you to just drop into your heart space and just feel your own heartbeat. Feel the essence of life inside of you. And as you're dropping into your own heart, so you are dropping into your dream. And we have to wake up from the dream. And the way we wake up from that dream is by becoming fully present. So if you've got any phones around you, or you've got any distractions, then I recommend that you turn those distractions off and bring yourself into this moment. I'm going to do a little bit of chanting, a little bit of drumming. But the most important thing is for you to just come here right now. Come into this moment. So taking a deep breath in, breathing out, and feeling your heartbeat. So just feeling your heartbeat right now. So listening and feeling, just dropping into your heart, concentrating. And bring to mind any dream that you may have had recently. any dream, and just connecting with that dream. And as you're connecting with that dream, you're connecting to your soul, you're connecting to your spirit. So in traditional shamanic or traditional South African training in the Sangoma world, we look at the dream, and we look at those dreams that make us feel alive, those dreams that might have an image or a sense of electricity, or something where you're feeling you're touching the divine, you're touching this space beyond you. And those dreams are the ones that we really focus on, because it's an experience of the divine, the experience of Kamata, the experience of the great dreamer. And then we bow down in a sense of humility, because we have touched something much greater than ourselves. And then we light a candle, we do some prayers, and we focus on those dreams. We zone in on them. And as we do that, that experience of the divine, that experience of the great dreamer starts coming into our lives more and more. And then we navigate ourselves in that direction. And then those dreams and that experience of the great dreamer starts to come into our lives more and more. Now, some people I've come across say they don't dream. Now, everyone dreams. Everyone dreams. It just, the question is whether you remember your dreams or not. But what I'd like to do is talk about this lived reality right now as the waking dream. So the most important is, how are you living your life right now? In this moment, this is a dream. Me talking to you now, it's quite dreamlike. We're over the internet, and maybe even 10 or 15 years ago, this would seem like a dream. And now this is the moment, this is the lived experience we're in. And the most important thing is that we look at our waking life as a dream, and then the next thing is to make changes to that dream. So if you're not living in a way that you want to live, if you're unhappy with your life, then the most important thing is to start making a few changes. Because what we talk about in traditional shamanism, and also in the training that I've come from, is you just change one pattern. One pattern in your life is enough to start changing your karma and change your destiny. So let's talk about the pattern right now. If you're unhappy with your life, then what you can do is just start meditating for 5 or 10 minutes every day. 5 or 10 minutes every day means that you're starting to change a pattern in the waking dream. And the next thing is your intention. Make a very strong intention of, I want to connect more with my spirit. I want to connect more with my soul. Because as you do that, you're connecting more with nature, and you're connecting with the great dreamer. So if you're making that decision, I always say to people, when you make that decision, don't be afraid of discomfort, because this earth realm is not about euphoria. It's not about always feeling good. Often when you make a decision to connect with your spirit, you might feel certain emotions of discomfort, physical things. All these things can come up. Don't worry about it. It's all part of the different colors of life. So connecting to the waking dream is about connecting to this moment, connecting to the nature. And if you don't feel you're living your life in the way you want to, you feel you're not getting enough juice, you're not, something feels off, make a change, because you're awake now. You have the power of changing your reality around you. And if you're not sure what to do, then just sit and meditate for 10 minutes. That's all you need to do, just for 10 minutes. It's that simple. And then look at your day. Where do you need to make changes? Is there something that you can engage a little bit more with nature? So I've just moved into a new place, and I had dreams about the birds. And when I came, it was a lot of snow everywhere, and I didn't see any birds. And I thought, I need to make a little bit more of a connection with the bird people. So I got a couple of bird feeders. I tried different kinds of bird seed, and I put a bird feeder in the front of the house and the back of the house, and then I just waited and watched, and that was my practice. And then the birds started coming, and then there was an engagement, a movement from my spirit out into the world of the bird people. So what was that action? It was a very simple action, getting 2 bird feeders, putting one in the front of the house, one in the back, and then watching and witnessing the movement of the birds. So that's the same for all of us. It's a simple action, but it changes the waking dream. It changes what's happening in this space. So as you change the waking dream, then your experience of the dreams at night also changes. As we bow down to those prophetic dreams or those magical, electrical dreams and really pay respect to them, then we receive more of those dreams, and our life, our waking dream starts to change. So if you're not dreaming at night and you're worried about that, you have the ability with your 2 hands and your 2 feet and your consciousness to change the waking dream, change your reality. And all you have to do is change a few patterns. And what we do in South Africa is, amongst the Sangomas, is we pray. So when someone is going through the calling to become a Sangoma and they're very sick, we work with medicinal plants to wash the body, and we pray. Praying is a big part of it. And you could say praying is a form of mindfulness meditation in an African context. So pray. Praying is the greatest gift that we all have. And when you're praying, pray that your heart can open. Pray for the courage and the strength to walk on this earth realm and this earthly existence right now. Pray for your ancestors to touch you, for you to feel them and for you to help them. Pray for the strength to connect with your humanity. So when you do that and you light a candle and you do it with intention, you're changing the waking dream. As you change the waking dream, you're changing your experience of dreaming at night. So I have many stories around this as people who know me. When I started, I was very young. I was 18 years old when I started this path. And I didn't have a teacher at that time, and I was struggling a lot. And I just found Zen meditation. And I was in the South African army, and I saw a lot of suffering all around me. And I fell in love with meditation. So all I would do with all the suffering around me and all the things that I wanted to change, but I didn't have the power to do to make those changes, I just sat on my cushion and I meditated as I was taught in the Zen tradition. So feeling my breath, feeling my heartbeat, asking, what am I? What is this life? How can I help the suffering around me? I don't know. And I'd meditate and I'd give everything to the meditation. And then I'd get up from my cushion and I would sleep. And my dreams over time became more and more powerful because I changed the pattern of my dreaming because I worked with my waking dream. So this is what I want to encourage all of you. Dreaming is part of nature. Dreaming is connected to the great dreamer, the orchestrator of the events of life, the conductor behind all things. You are a child of nature. If you are unhappy, if you feel discontent and you need more out of life, or you don't feel your spirit is awake enough, do something about it. Change your reality. And all it takes is just a quiet reflection, closing your eyes, feeling your heartbeat, making that intention of, I want to connect more with my humanity. And then start to listen. Listen to the inner world that you tap into when you close your eyes and when you feel your heartbeat. And then when you come off your cushion and you stop meditating, or the chair that you're in, look at the birds outside, connect with nature. Nature will teach you how to become more mindful. Nature will teach you how to believe in the power of the elements, because we have all those elements inside of us. We are children of nature. So we have to trust in nature to help us when we're feeling a sense of discontent and a sense of sadness or depression. So my meditation is often looking at the birds and watching them. I'm amazed at how these little creatures survive in the coldest conditions. So the same thing is with us. When we feel cold inside, when our spirit feels hampered, what do? The next thing is to go inwards, take a breath, breathe in, breathe out, and then pray. Call on your strength, call on your ancestors. Okay, I'm going to do a bit of drumming, and just be aware that when I'm drumming, it's not ordinary drumming that I'm doing. I wouldn't even call myself a musician. I'm a Sangoma, and Sangomas drum to connect to the spirit world. So when I'm drumming with this particular rhythm, it's a time for you to connect to your spirit. It's a time for you to feel your heart, feel your bones, feel your humanity. And then if you've got disharmony, if you've got illness, if you've got sadness, pray. Because the ability of the drum is to magnify the spirit. That's the drum's job, is to magnify the spirit. And then my calling and my training was all about that, magnifying the spirit. So even this platform we're on, in terms of this internet platform, the drum is still very, very powerful. So use this opportunity. This is not entertainment. This is about waking up. And if you feel all kinds of emotions that may be uncomfortable, don't worry. It's all part of nature. Nature has many different colors, not just one. So don't get attached to your emotions. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to do some drumming and feel your spirit drop in for a moment. Take it easy. Here we go.
Siangolan Lovo Siangolan Gonyama Siangolan Ingwe Siangolan Makreja Abazali bam 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 Abazali bam
feeling your pulse, feel your heart. Breathing into it, feeling it. So this practice of being human is not complicated, but we complicate it with our minds. And the way to uncomplicate it is just to tune in, feel your heart, feel your breath, and then to make an intention to bring about change in your life. Or if those people are sick around you and you have a responsibility to help them, then you make that intention. So, as I said, my story started when I was 18 and I was a medic in the South African Army, and I was dealing with a lot of sick patients, some of who died and some who were very, very sick and really traumatized, badly injured from the war in Angola and other kinds of illnesses and conditions. So I was left with a situation of, I don't know, what can I do to help these people? I wasn't thinking of my own situation so much because my life was relatively comfortable. I was just felt so sad to see people suffering to such a great degree. And nowadays we're dealing with a pandemic, we're dealing with different kinds of suffering, and also incredible suffering to do with the animal world, and incredible, almost like a war of poaching in Africa where animals are being slaughtered. So it brings about a big question of what can I do? How can I help this world? So it's the same question when I was 18. So what do? You want to do something and make it clear in your mind you want to do something. And then listen inside yourself. And if you get confused, you don't know what to do, watch the birds, watch nature, trust in nature, and get up and make a change. So as you're changing your waking dream, the dream at night is going to change. And this is the power that each of us have. As a human being, we have the power of choice. You can choose to watch TV all day, every day, or you can get up and do a bit of yoga and drink smoothies and meditate. Hopefully there's a little bit of a balance between the two there. But this power of choice is what gives us the ability to connect to the great dreamer. So I want you to really sit with that you have the power, and it's the power of choice. Even if you're in prison and you're being locked up in solitary confinement, you would still have your two hands, you would have your volition, you would have your breath, and you would have your mind. And the choice would be, how do you hold your mind? Nowadays, a lot of people are not free because they're not free with their minds. So if you're feeling that you're not free and if you're feeling discontent, go outside, look at the beauty outside you and breathe it in. Breathe in that spaciousness. Breathe it in. So when I was in the Kalahari last year, it was such a dream for me to be there, because I've been dreaming about going back to the Kalahari for years, and finally I was there, and I said to everyone in the group, we had 3 retreats, and I said, this is the waking dream, because where you are is one of the oldest places in the world. It's like the Garden of Eden, and a lot of you have also dreamt about coming to Africa and coming to this space, and now we're here together. This is magical. So let's do ceremony together, let's pray together, and let's expand this waking dream that we are in right now. So whether you're in a beautiful place like the Kalahari, or maybe you're living in London and you're living in a high rise, it doesn't matter, because you're still in a dream and you can still wake up from it. And then as we're having these dreams at night, where we have these epiphanies and we feel that electrical force of Kamata, of the great dreamer, and then we wake up and we make a prayer or we light some incense and we're feeling that dream deeply, then your waking state starts to change. So these two states of mind, the waking dream, as I'm talking to you now, and then the sleeping dream, are they the same or different? That's my question. So as we change the waking state through practice and through listening and going for walks in nature and calling on the breath of life from the wilderness and allowing the wilderness outside to touch us, something starts changing and the dream at night starts changing. So I'm going to pause just for a moment and just see if there's any questions. We started a bit late because of some technical issues. So we're going to go a little bit later today. So if there's any questions, I'm just going to look at the feed here and see. It'd be nice to see a few hearts, just so I know you guys are there. Just push that little heart button and let's see some hearts. It'll be really good to see. And see if there's any questions. Okay, so let's see if there's any questions here. Okay, so I don't seem to see any questions, so we'll just carry on. So by connecting with the waking dream, connecting with your joie de vivre, the most important thing is to follow your own happiness. So as you follow your own happiness, that will teach you about connecting more deeply with nature. That'll teach you about connecting more deeply with the world around you. Okay, I think we've got some questions coming through. No questions. Okay. So that question or that statement of the Khoisan of the Bushmen people in southern Africa is a very powerful one. This world is a dream being dreamt by the great dreamer. And part of our journey as human beings is about connecting with the great dreamer, connecting to the soul of man and looking beyond the veil of confusion and illusion and doubt. So how can we look beyond the veil and see the truth of all things? Well, first we have to quieten our mind, going outside, listening to the wind, allowing nature and the elements to touch us. That's the truth. The truth is when it's snowing outside and you go outside, you might feel a bit cold. That's the truth. A few days ago I walked outside and it was gale force winds. That's the truth. So as we feel the truth of nature and how it's touching us, then we can start to see the truth in our dreams. And we can start to see beyond the veil of confusion and doubt. And then if we're lucky and blessed, we get to see aspects of Kamata, aspects of the great dreamer. We get to see beyond the veil. So I remember during my apprenticeship with my teacher in the Eastern Cape, in my apprenticeship in becoming a Sangoma, I remember having all these dreams, and I used to go and visit her and tell her my dreams. And over time I got to see what were the prophetic and strong dreams which are connecting to the great dreamer, and what were the dreams that were just mundane and something just to look at, smile at and let go. And it was all got to do with the response of my teacher, because she comes from a very old lineage, one of the oldest lineages in terms of shamanism in the world. And she was trained in a very traditional way. So I'd sit down and I'd tell her my dream and I'd get all excited thinking that this was a big dream. And she would have a conversation with the people going on the road outside, and the kids would come asking for sweets and she would give them sweets. The goats would come, she would shove them out. The dogs would go past and she would shout at them. Life was happening outside the divining room. And every now and then she'd come back and look at me and go, And then when I finished talking, she would say to me, would you like some tea? Gringo, Ringo, she would say, "Uyafuna ukuphunga? Would you like some tea?" And I'll go, "Yeah, ewe mama, ewe, ndifuna ukuphunga." So then we'd have some tea, and then I realized not to push it because there was no electricity, there was no juice in the dreams. And then when I had different dreams where I really connected with the great dreamer, and I'd share it with her, her eyes would expand and she'd look at me. The children would come asking for sweets and she'd go, "Hambani, Hambani, diyatetha ngoku." Go, 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 I'm talking. And she would shut the door and nothing would move her. She would just be looking directly at me and all I could see was the whites of her eyes, and we would just be connecting with each other like this. And over time, I got to see a pattern of this. And that was a teaching. And that's how I knew how to identify these dreams. So that electrical feeling is really, really important. That electrical feeling that you experience when you're dreaming. And then listening to that. And then making a prayer of thanks. And then allowing that energy to expand into your lived reality, into your waking state. Okay, there's a couple of questions here. So someone says, when we have a dream that stands out, how do we go deeper with that dream? Well, you go deeper with a dream where you feel that electricity and you feel that connection with the dream. You go deeper with it by writing it out and then making some prayers around that dream. And that's how you bring mindfulness into that dream state. So you can light a candle, light a stick of incense, write the dream out, so you're bringing the dream into the world, and then just sit and meditate on the dream, just feel it. And maybe if you've got a close friend and someone that you really trust, you can speak the dream out to them. So it's been a really wonderful time with all of you today, and thank you for your patience with our technical issues. I'm going to be doing another webinar next week, but it's a closed circle, and it's got to do with ancestors and healing our ancestors. And if you'd like to participate, then please go onto my website, and then you can join and you can register. So thank you for taking part in this uMoya live stream. And I can finish off with just a little bit of a meditation. So you can just feel your heart space. So just feeling the heart space inside of you, connecting with your waking dream. Taking responsibility for listening to your own heartbeat. So thank you everyone for listening. If you found this video and my other videos helpful, please like me on Facebook and on YouTube and subscribe to this channel. And it would be really helpful if you could also make a donation. That makes it possible for me to carry on sharing these teachings. So thank you very much. Have a great day. Thank you so much. Bye now.